Hello everyone and welcome to the Orbital Platform. My name is Golden Nova Yu-Gi-Oh! The Lore Laureate, the Explaining Expert, and today we are entering Case 3 of Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. It's been a very fun game so far, and I can't wait to see what other wild news we have in store today. I don't really think there's anything else to super talk about. I hope everyone had a good week. I say that like we're not in the middle of it, but for me, today was my work Friday, so, this is my end of work week stream, a little treat just for me. I should be working on script stuff, but, I spent too much time today talking about how much, AI art is pissing me off, especially in the context of it being in the Yugi sphere. That's terrible! That sucks! What? Ah! These people have so much influence and reach and presumably disposable income that they could use for anything, and they do that. It's wild. I hate it. For me, payday is tomorrow. Hey, that's close enough. I have arrived. I'm on Dia Series' third route. Love me a visual novel with multiple routes. I guess also for those who are of the persuasion, I've finally jumped into the Common Rider pool. I'm starting to get indoctrinated into the land of Henshin. Folks, I found Geets on YouTube. Toku Shoutsu, I think the channel is. Folks, I'm hooked. I'm looking forward to watching more of it. I've seen 2 episodes. Can't wait to see more of it. Okay. Henshin to go, baby. Oh, we gotta get the beautiful Joe come back. We gotta get the beautiful Joe come back. It's so good. It's peak. Okay. I'm never reminiscing about times lost. It's time for Times Found and Times New Roman. Episode 3, Part 1, Aranax Town Square. Let's go. Henshin to go, baby. There you go. That's how I should use that. What I'm doing is the cannon one, where you get shot out of a cannon. Okay, Frey Cuthbert. So, relative of Tyrion. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There was so much that I wanted to tell you. So much that I wanted to show you. But I'm afraid I was never meant to walk this path with you. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But don't let it extinguish the flickering flame I can see within you. Use my eyes. Peer beyond the divine gate just as I once did. Use it to build your own path to happiness. Oh, inherited? The origins of Horus! The Horigin, if you will. Which is what they will one day call my transition into doing OnlyFans work. My Horigin. Parentheses affectionately. Preposterous. Completely and utterly preposterous. Oh, this guy. Is something wrong, Von Sanctus? Okay, Von Sanctus, I love the art here, so this is not a dig at it, but it does look like Von Sanctus is drawn like a dual terminal character. Not Duel Links, this is coming straight out of like the dual terminal like cabinets. This rules. You filthy rat! You cheated, didn't you? That's it, isn't it? You're just a cheat and a charlatan! Lloyd Von Sanctus, Duke, age 45, the leader of House Von Sanctus, the weakest of the 4 pillar families. He stands at the head of the kingdom's commerce and international trade. I've met children who play chess better than him. Ooh, a sick burn. In my opinion, Henshin to go, baby is mandatory to say if you activate mask change. I'm going to keep that in mind because I think you should have a little fun. If you're playing heroes, I think you have to be a little whimsical with it. Do you have any evidence to prove that claim? I mastered chess before you could crawl out of whatever rat hole you were born in. Do you honestly expect anyone to believe that you could defeat me? Honestly, I'm just as disappointed as you are. I expected more from a duke. But I guess all the gold in the world can't buy you a modicum of skill. Hey, Neon! Neon, good to see you. How you doing today? How's it going? Uh-oh, Moby's back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, big man. Big man is here for pets. Big man with his big butt in front of the screen so I can't see it. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh, yes, he is. Everyone, pet Moby with me. Everyone, get your hands down here and pet Moby with me. Von Sanctus reminds me of a referee or a judge from a Yu-Gi-Oh anime, but I can't remember which one. You can't resolve this card that way. It's not how it works. Tyrion is ruthless. Just absolutely cutting to the quick of the matter. Thank you, Neon. This is the dumb hair. It does kind of have a little Aster Phoenix to it, to be honest. You little upstart, I'll... Von Sanctus's attendant silently tilted his head towards the spectators of the tournament. The crowd had fallen silent, save for a few aristocrats who were muttering among themselves. Some were even chuckling at the spectacle. Absolutely preposterous. He repeated it like a prayer as he stomped away from the tournament grounds. So, that was something. Did you have to be such a sore winner? Come on, that was hilarious. Embarrassing nobles like him is half the fun of these tournaments. Where's this confidence when you're in the courtroom? Steelwind is far less of a pushover. I wonder if she plays chess. Now there was an interesting thought. I'm going to challenge her next time we go out. You two have really been spending a lot of time together lately. What? Are you jealous? I just never expected you to get along so well with a noble. I mean, you've talked to her. She's not like most of those stuck-up heiresses. She really takes her job seriously. Maybe even more than you do. I'd just be careful around her. You've seen what the papers have been saying about her father. Hey, she's nothing like her father. Don't say things like that when she's around. Does he even come up when you talk to each other? Nope, and you better not bring him up the next time we see her. She seemed oddly protective of the prosecutor, almost like she's her big sister or something. It's signposted so hard that I'm wondering why no one is questioning the sudden invention of neon lighting. It was probably fine. Despite our differences, Steelwind was oddly fair when we were in the courtroom. Celeste spent most of her time protecting me, so I was glad she had someone she could spend her days off with. Anyways, we should celebrate. He was a pushover, but you just beat a duke. You want to head to that restaurant in Wraithholme? What are you talking about? There are plenty of places here we haven't tried before. I only returned to Aranax for the chance to finally defeat the head of a pillar family. I really wanted to leave, especially before anyone in town recognized me. Do you remember that cafe we passed on the way to the tournament grounds? We should grab some lunch there. I wanted to object, but she had this way of making it impossible to say no to her. Alright, I guess there's no harm in staying a little longer. Also, I'm doing well. I'm multitasking here and streaming, watching Beat Break. Ah, a good dual track. Excellent. How are you liking Beat Break so far? How have things been progressing for you? We traced our steps back to the cafe. I looked at the sign hanging above it. Dark roasts and light magic. So I assume dark is like a last name. Unless it's another typo that has appeared. As we entered, we were struck by the powerful aroma of freshly baked pastries and coffee. The scent of bread and butter swirled around me, slowly washing away my reluctance to come here. So, you dare to enter the domain of the Alabaster Siren? Whether you were seeking glory or oblivion, it's found you all the same. You stand before Masrika Tudor, the Ashen Lord of Aranax. We did it, folks. We found our magician girl. We found a Yu-Gi-Oh! We found a Yu-Gi-Oh! Here. It took us this entire time, but we found a Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel bad for whoever shipped Celeste and Steelwood with the implication that they're siblings, and I don't feel bad for them, because I know some of you people are searching tags, and I'm glad that you have more stuff for your off time. I'm enjoying it. I watch an episode or so a day. My only gripe right now is Moosemon doesn't look as whimsical as I thought it would be. Yeah, Moosemon is surprisingly like a cryptid. It's crazy. Okay, so what it's Masaurika Tudor? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Masaurika Tudor? Experts in chat, please sound off. My childhood friend appeared before us, her posture firm and over the top as always. No, that didn't make sense. I stopped there because I thought that sentence didn't make sense, but there's a way to read that. Masarika was much older than when I'd last seen her, but I could recognize that theatrical cadence anywhere. She clearly hadn't lost her flair for the dramatic. Her cloak somehow billowed with every exaggerated pose she snapped to. Masarika Tudor, age 19, my dramatic childhood friend. She's a commoner who was born a mage, though through Dracogen's patronage, she was able to open up her own restaurant like she'd always dreamed about. I should have done more to keep in contact with her after I left. I'll have you know that my confections are not for the faint of... She froze up. She recognized me immediately. Tyrion? I winced as I rubbed the back of my neck. Hi, Rika. I knew it. It is you. Do you have any idea how worried we've all been? You two know each other? Right, sorry. Masarika, this is my bodyguard, Celeste. Celeste, this is Masarika. We kind of grew up together. She's actually a commoner mage like you. You used to live here, but you were in such a rush to leave. You came here to eat, right? Let me bring you some of our best dishes on the house. No, we couldn't possibly... Don't be like that. I've been years since I've seen you, and you know how good my cooking is. Okay, but only for a little bit. Also, a bit of a warning, Celeste is kind of a glutton. Her stomach is basically bottomless. Hey! Oh, I'll accept that challenge. Potion seller battle. I require you. You can't handle my strongest potions. Rika set a table for the three of us before calling over a waiter. I ordered the eggs Benedict, and Rika ordered the French toast because they have a France here. Celeste ordered the omelet, ham skillet, shaved steak, breakfast wrap, a stack of pancakes, a stack of waffles, a chocolate crepe, and the avocado toast because she wanted something light. I am so sorry, Rika. I'll pay for her food. This is nothing. My cafe has dealt with far greater foes than this. Can I also get the eggs Benedict and the French toast? Their food smells great. I'll pay for her. Thank you. Your bodyguard really likes to... really eats a lot. Celeste looked up from her plate, making eye contact with the two of us. She paused for a moment before going back to her meals. She's really good at her job. She must have been burning all those calories somehow. I heard you've been fighting the nobility. Is that why you need her? You know about that? The papers won't stop talking about you. I couldn't believe it when I saw your picture in the Oranax Post after all these years. I'm sorry. I'm just glad you're safe, Tyrion. Look at you. I never expected the light... Okay, I was joking about this being a Yu-Gi-Oh! I did... The light sworn mon... No. Where's my screen cap button? I never know how to do screen caps on here. Where's the print screen, I think? I don't know. Huh? I'll grab this later when I'm getting... You can't just drop that on me! What does that even do? You tribute summon it, you mill 4? Is that what it does? Is it like... No, wait, the Lightsworn Monarch is just... I'm just describing Celeste, the Lightsworn Angel who's our party. I'm mad. What time is it? What time is it in the stream right now? It's what? Hylix, stop playing, please. Your time as my background music is over for now. We're at 19 minutes in. I'm flabbergasted. What do you mean the light sword? You can't just pull that out. That's not just like a random fantasy phrase. That's specific for us. By the way, Nova, the heroine of the rite that I'm doing is a French girl from the 18th century who's magically decapitates people she touches. Her spirit is housed in a guillotine that's fused into the right arm of the protagonist. Oh, good! Oh, good. Look at you. I never expected the Lightsworn Monarch to start wearing a suit. What's this Lightsworn Monarch I keep hearing about? Oh, it's something I used to call myself when I was a kid. Wait, really? Wait, Tyrion, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you play that little card game that was never as good as Pokemon? Tyrion, you have some secrets in your closet. And the Ashen! There's no way. There's no way that... Actually, I could believe it. Ashen is actually fairly recent. I could get that. It pales in comparison to the Ashen Lord of Oranax. But just as I'd expect from my apprentice, you're practically famous now. Not even the headmaster of the Imperial Academy could stand against you. I winced at being reminded about Redmond. I still didn't feel great about what happened. God, Lightsworn Monarch is a scary idea. New custom card review prompt. Gotcha, Pokemon. What's wrong? Theodore Redmond wasn't a bad person. He just made a really terrible mistake. I'm not happy about indicting him. Oh. Are you the owner of this cafe, Eureka? You always dreamed of opening one up when we were kids. The source of my strength is the everlasting financial support of the Dracogen Trading Company. Its owner was rendered powerless when he tried confections. He had no choice but to fund my war path. Dracogen Trading Company? I don't think I've heard of them. They're pretty small. They're only operating in Ornax right now. But I hear that they're planning to expand their operations throughout Wyverngard. I'm surprised the Duke of Commerce is letting that slide. Isn't he the guy you beat in the chess tournament this morning? Oh, that was you? House von Sanctus is one of the 4 pillar families. They manage mercantile operations throughout Wyverngard. So, House Steelwind controls the military, and House von Sanctus controls the businesses. House Frigga controls the banking houses and the exchange of currency, and House Sybil controls the judicial and legislative branches of our kingdom. Is it just me, or does the city look a lot cleaner than before? Oh, right. You left before all of those new merchants appeared. New merchants? Did they come from a merchant's guild? Not exactly. The Dracogen Trading Company was one of the first merchants that came. They bought some of the arcane manufacturings a few years ago. They transformed it into the heart of artificery production within Oranax. Other merchants felt the wave of the wind and followed them here. Being based in a port city would definitely give them an edge, and Oranax is one of the few trading hubs that sends and receives exports from the other kingdoms. And Oranax is one of the few trading hubs that sends and receives exports from the other kingdoms. I just looked at her, surprised. Hey, I'm a businesswoman. I know about economics. Their presence lit a flame in the city's economy. They aren't owned by the nobility, and they pay their workers a lot more than Von Sanctus does. It's really opened a lot more opportunities for the people here. I doubt the Duke appreciates the competition, though. They're even talking about forming employee-run unions. Oh, the Duke definitely would appreciate that. Unions! 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 Unions in my fantasy game! Let's go! It's like I wrote this. It's like a thing that I would want to have in my tabletop game. God, I was the person to voice Tudor and Von Sanctus in my friend's playthrough of this game, and I had a flippin' blast. I can imagine they're cool. So how long till Endymion? Shh. We don't mention him. We don't mention that bastard. We don't do that. Endymion sucks. I'm still having trouble figuring out Tudor's voice. I don't know. I don't want to get too nasally here because, like, she's a Chunibyo, but she's not like she's a young adult. I think. So, you still play chess? Yeah, I'm nationally ranked too. I heard that some upstart commoner defeated Von Sanctus at a tournament this morning. I should have known it was the light-sworn monarch. I can't get over that. Upstart! Upstart! Like the goblin? Von Sanctus is one of those characters I have to move my hands to voice, if that makes sense. I absolutely get it. Voice acting is acting, and you gotta get the whole body in on it when you do it. Hey, do you still do that thing when you play? No. What thing? Nothing. She's not talking about anything. Wait, you're actually embarrassed about it? When we were kids, you did it even more than I did. What? What did he used to do? Why don't you show her, Tyrion? I refuse. Come on, show us, Tyrion. The thing. I think I'm a little too old for this. I am insulted that you think age has anything to do with it. You need to feed it to Tyrion, lest your radiant light be smothered into a flickering ember. Do it, Tyrion. Yeah, do it, Tyrion. The two of them began chanting, drawing the attention of other patrons in the cafe. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. I took in a deep breath. Those who stand in the shadows, those who fear the light of divinity, your imperials will fall, and your armies will perish. Kneel and cower before the divine gaze of the Eye of Horus. I am Tyrion Cuthbert, Emperor of Light, and the sworn enemy of darkness itself. They were trying really hard to contain their laughter. Well, that's why I don't do it anymore. No, that was great. It was really cool, Tyrion. Her barely contained laughs puffed out between each word. And why are you laughing? You were just doing it a moment ago. Yeah, but she owns it. Ugh. You used to say something else. What was it? Oh yeah. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Man, king, or god? Yeah, that's it! He still says that sometimes. Well, it's been nice catching up with you, Rika, but I think it's time for us to get going. What? But we just got here! Oh. I'll let you go this time, light-sworn monarch. But by partaking of the food within my realm, you've fallen under its curse. Curse? You are now bound to my domain for eternity. Domain? Just saying. Now I have a summoning chant for the Lightsworn Monarch. I gotta get the Tyrion Cuthbert domain duels set up. Domain of the Lightsworn Monarch. But I'm a benevolent lord. Your only charge as my servant is to write me at least once a fortnight. How long is a fortnight again? It's about as long as it takes to win a chicken dinner. 2 weeks. I'll stay in touch. I'll stay in touch, Rika. You'd better. Don't just disappear like last time. Oh, baby! Oh, it's Tempest time! Alright, we already did one cat. Now it's time for the other cat. Tempest time. Folks, it's Tempest time. Tempest time. Tempest time. Baby, baby, baby. Baby, 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 baby. We left the cafe and made our way to the local Merchants Guild to rent a carriage. The city streets seemed a bit more crowded than before. There must have been some kind of event going on. Maybe like a chess tournament or something. Who knows? Hey, Tyrion? Yeah? She fidgeted with her hands and seemed unable to make eye contact with me. She looked like she was wanting to say something, but she couldn't find the right words. Never mind, it's nothing. Okay. We made our way to the Merchants Guild in silence. With each step, we found the streets becoming more and more crowded. I really hoped that this traffic wouldn't interfere with the ride home. Redacted Ghost! What spookiness has arrived here? Redacted Ghost, thank you so much for raiding in. Folks, thank you for stopping by. As you can see, I'm currently being logged by Tempest, my little baby, my little child, my joy. I hope you all had a fun stream. How'd it go, Reacted Ghost? Did you have fun? How's it going? just finished case 3 of Greatest Attorney 2. What one is that one? I know case 1 is the new intro case. Flip. What was it again? Hairbrain. I was about to guess that. Yes, that was a sick one. That was a nasty one. With Drebber. Oh my god. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. I'm glad that we are keeping the train rolling here. Let me go ahead and here we go. Now that I've got my hands free. Alrighty. And we have the crest. But dang it, I didn't get Viato tube set up. I messed up. I messed up. One second. We can fix this. Chat, we can fix this. We can fix this quite easily. We have changed. Oh no, Tempest, sweetie, baby, hello. Okay, we're just gonna be stuck like this for a second. It's me and a cat butt right now. That's just how this works. That is just how streams work sometimes. Sometimes your cat just decides to mog you, and that is how it goes. That is the way the news goes. You go away. And Crest is back. Dimension Chasers guest star Crest Knight. Also inadvertent PNG tuber mode, which is I need to catch up on DC. You gotta look. I'm my own biggest advocate, but I think I've been doing some pretty good work on there. The team's been putting in a lot of work as well. The story is ramping up to be something crazy, and the last duel was actually pretty crazy. I gotta say. Okay, let's go back to the game. You guys can't see it, but Tempest has camped out on my shoulder. So this is a thing that's happening behind the scenes, just so that we're all aware here. Okay, let's go check the text log. I think I missed something. Hi, can we rent a carriage for travel to Wraithhome? Sorry, but travel outside the city has been restricted. What? Why? Haven't you heard? Steelwind soldiers have locked down the city. Oh, fart. They set up a blockade and everything. A chill ran up my spine. What are you talking about? Check the city gates if you don't believe me. We arrived at the city gates. Like the man had said, there was a division of knights blockading the exit to the city. There was an entire legion of them. Their flags bore the colors of the Kingsguard. What are they doing here? The Kingsguard was a military force that responded to matters of national importance and looked exactly like the ones that investigate magical crimes. Wild. They worked directly under Grand General Steelwind. The townsfolk kept their distance, but several aristocrats were making their objections known. This is outrageous! I came here to have my hair swapped out with a different model, and now we can't go home? What's the deal with that? How long do you plan on keeping us here? Sorry, but we have our orders. We can't let anyone outside the city until our investigation is complete. An investigation? We should keep our distance. I wouldn't want to... Oh, screw that. Was that, did I say that? Oh no, that was Tyrion. We should keep our distance. Oh, screw that. Before I knew what was going on, Celeste marched towards the night station there. Wait, Celeste! At least tell us what's going on. Why is the entire city being blockaded? Sorry, ma'am, we're not allowed to release that information. You'll just have to make our other arrangements while we sort this out. Actually, I haven't seen you two around before. I'll need to take down your names and occupations for our records. What? Why? It's fine, Celeste. We're better off just cooperating with them. We needed to avoid any kind of conflict with them. I'm Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm a defense attorney. Fine. I'm Celeste McCoy, bodyguard. Oh. He suddenly recognized us. Our reputation did more harm than good most of the time. I looked over to the other knights. They seemed to be taking notes of the people here, too. They seemed to be compiling a list of everyone inside the city, but for what? Kingsguard blockade. The Kingsguard have set up a blockade and prevented anyone from traveling in and out of Oranax. They seem to be making note of everyone in the city. I have an important engagement tomorrow. What am I supposed to do now? I'll never have my cravat steamed in time. This can't possibly be legal. The Minister of Justice will be hearing of this. The nobles continued shouting at the knights. It was clear they wouldn't be budging anytime soon. As soon as the knights were finished speaking, I quickly backed away. Celeste followed closely behind me. Tyrion, wait! She said that, but it took very little effort for her to keep pace with me. My breathing was getting faster, and my head was aching. Scaled Lord, it's happening here. What? It's exactly like what happened in the countryside. Lucio Steelwind sent his men to keep the peace here. Oh, that's why you that's why you're so freaked out. How are you so calm right now? I'd probably win if they tried to attack us. Well, I'm not some super warrior who can fight a legion of knights by myself. Tyrion, relax. They said they're just investigating something. There are no riots going on here, and we're in the heart of the Duke of Commerce's territory. Do you seriously think Von Sanctus would let another Pillar family march onto his land and kill his people? She had a point, but this uneasiness wasn't going away. It'll be fine. Let's just find a place to stay the night and wait for all this to blow over. We walked into a nearby tavern and found it absolutely crowded with patrons. One that looked suspiciously similar to the inn that the McCoys ran back in another town. Which is to say, good for reusing assets when appropriate. Got to keep those costs reasonable for indie games. Everyone else had the same idea. Hey, welcome to the Agewind Tavern. What can I do for you? Could we get 2 rooms for the night? Sorry, we're fully booked with the blockade and all. Wait, let me take care of this. Celeste took out a large pouch of gold and dropped it on the innkeeper's desk. Well, would you look at that? One of our rooms just opened up. Only one? The entire city's locked down. Even with this gratuity, that's the best I can do for you. What? Embarrassed to share a room with me, Tyrion? No! I briefly glanced at the innkeeper. He chuckled at my reaction. Fine, let's just go. We walked into the room they had prepared for us, which looked suspiciously like Celeste's parents' room from an inn that her parents ran. There was one bed. I'm getting the strangest sense of deja vu. I may have seen this scenario once before. So, how should we... Oh, I was just kidding before. You can have the bed. I'll just sleep on the floor. What? I can't just let you... Please, we're both commoners, but you live a cushy life in the city. I'm a mercenary. I've lived on the road for years. I've slept like this plenty of times. I couldn't argue against that, but I still felt uneasy. Alright, just let me know if you change your mind. Yeah. I let myself fall onto the bed. Celeste started checking the room for anything suspicious. I tried to relax, but Lucio Steelwind was in my hometown. I just took deep breaths. Celeste was right. The Grand General wasn't insane enough to try anything in the heart of Lord Von Sanctus's territory. At least I hope he wasn't. I really hope that was true. I hope that the insane general does something insane. That's the wrong words for it. I sure hope the unhinged general does something that makes sense and is not going to slaughter people for personal gain. We had an arrangement. What are you doing? I don't know. I guess I'm going back to do my actual job. You little rat. Do you think you can get away with crossing me? You've already come this far. You're far from blameless. Now get back in that office and activate the device. I thought you wanted me to rob the place. What's so special about this thing, and why the office? How about I activate it right now? Do not do that. I knew it. There's been something more to these jobs, ain't it? This ain't just robbery. You'll use me for something else. As if you ever cared. I know about your debts. You need me. You know what? I'm done with this. I'll quit. What do you think this is? You got caught in your ears or something? I said, I quit. Consider this my resignation. Wait, stop! What? Never give up, my son. Father? Damn it all! Violetta, get out of there now! As the night went on, I found myself falling into a terrible nightmare. How long had I been walking through this forest? It had probably been days at this point. I was getting tired. But I had to get to Wraithholme. I had to find Miss Tamora again. I needed to find her. I needed her to teach me. I needed revenge. I really needed some food. I'd already gone through all the dried fish that I'd packed for the journey. The compass told me that I was still heading west, but I didn't realize how long it would take to get to Wraithholme on foot. I suddenly heard the sound of a distant carriage coming from behind me. It wasn't long before the cart passed by me. The carriage driver glanced at me before doing a double take and yanked at the reins. Hey, what are you doing all the way out here? I said nothing. I just stared blankly at him. You okay? Where are your parents? They're gone. The man scratched his head and scanned the surrounding forest. I need to go to Wraithholme. I need to find Ruby Tamora. Oi, criminal lawyer? She's my family's lawyer. I'm going to be passing by Wraithholme. You should probably come with me. We can get you to the city watch. They probably know how to help a kid like you. I wasn't interested in meeting more knights, but at this rate, I was gonna starve. Without a word, I climbed into the back of his carriage. Kid looks like he's half dead. I was startled awake. My face was covered in sweat. It took me a while before I realized that it had just been a nightmare. I rubbed my eyes. There were dried tears crested into them. Damn it all. It had been a long time since I'd started having It had been a long time since I stopped having those nightmares. But being in this city was digging up memories that I'd moved on from. All the more reason to leave as soon as possible. Celeste, are you up? Huh? She'd been wistfully staring outside the tavern window, but her body twitched the moment I called out to her. These are some new images. Uh-oh. Are you okay? Yeah, you just startled me. He wasn't awake, was he? There was clearly something else, but she didn't seem keen on sharing. Do you know if the city is still on lockdown? I haven't checked yet. I was waiting for you. We arrived at the city gates. It was still being blocked by the Kingsguard. If anything, it looked like they doubled the number of knights there. I really didn't like where this was going. You want to head to the cafe again? Yeah, we'll just have to wait this out. And just as we turned around, we saw Rika running towards us from a block away. Tyrion! Tyrion! She broke out into a sprint, nearly tripping over as she slipped on the wet city streets. She looked exhausted and her clothes were drenched. She'd been out in the rain for a while. Tyrion, it's terrible. There was an accident in the Arcane Refinery last night. One of my friends who worked there, he fell into a vat of chemicals. He's dead. Oh, Rika, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do? The Duke is blaming the Dracogen Trading Company. He's trying to charge the owner with criminal negligence. As the lord of this region, it was House von Sanctus's responsibility to carry out the law. Red Shock 2016, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. I hope you enjoy your stay. And also Redacted Ghost. I thank you for rating in, but I also completely skipped over thanking you for following. I super appreciate it. Hope you all enjoy our magical time here in the land of Wyvern Guard. But the Duke was obviously just taking this opportunity to attack one of his rivals. Tyrion, you're a famous lawyer, right? Can you help them? I don't think I can. What? But... Rika, I specialize in homicides, and most of my clients are mages who have been charged with murder. There isn't any magic involved in what happened. There isn't even a killer. That's not true. I saw it happen. I didn't see who did it, but I saw someone cast a spell at him. It pushed him into the vat. What? How sure are you of this? I don't know. It all happened really fast. I took a deep breath. Even she didn't seem that sure of what she saw. Do you know what kind of spell it was? I don't know, but it was powerful enough to break everything around it. That definitely sounded too distinct. She must have seen something. Okay, I'll head to the refinery and see what I can do. Really? But don't get your hopes up. I don't have a lot of information to work with. That's fine. I'll let Dracogen know that you're on your way. This week was just getting worse by the minute. What would you like to save? I will in a second after my cute little baby stops crawling all over me. Oh, Tempest, yes. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, that's my nipple. Oh, that's a claw right in my nipple. My sensitive memories. Okay, there we go. Save time. Save time. We made our way to Oranax's Arcane Refinery. I'd always avoided the industrial district when I was a child. The Eye of Horus always showed me a miasma of exhaustion and hopelessness draping over this part of town. I definitely felt less of this that time around. Alright, take care, Pokemon. Have a good one. I'd gotten more used to dealing with my powers. Either that or Oranax's working conditions really had taken a turn for the better. Wow, so this is an arcane refinery. I never really understood what they do here. Those machines refine the arcane crystals that they use in artificery devices. Crystals like that can power everything from simple lights to advanced stuff like your runestone. How do you know this? I basically had to with all the extra reading I've been doing to learn how to fix your runestone. Sorry, I can't sense magic like you can. Mr. Cuthbert. As we arrived, we spotted Steelwind directing the knights. They investigated the crime scene. I'm surprised to see you all here. I thought what happened this morning was being considered an accident. I should say the same to you. Was Rika right? Did a mage really murder her friend? My friend is an associate of the Dracogen Trading Company. She asked me to take a look at what happened. Right. I'd forgotten that Lloyd was charging Dracogen with criminal negligence. Isn't that why you're all here? Oh no, I missed so much magic law. Thankfully, as long as you're talking about this episode, you actually haven't missed any magical law. We just heard of the murder just now. Supposed murder. We don't even know if this wasn't just an accident. We're here because of another matter. Honestly, the death of Justin Way seems fairly just in the way. Shut up! Shut up, game! Thank you. Thank you for more pun names. Thank you. I'll be prosecuting the case, of course, but I doubt there's anything to dispute here. Well, if you're so confident, I guess you wouldn't mind answering my questions. Everett, I know this week may seem scarier right now, but it's gonna get way worse. Did a clown drop a psychologist into a vat of chemicals? There is not an unreasonable chance that that is the case. Why do I feel like you're about to make my job much more difficult? When you're the one who said that the courts operate by having two... Weren't you the one who said that the courts operate by having two balanced powers of opposition? Oh, so you are going to defend him? I wanted to say that I wasn't sure yet, but that would probably be a lie. Very well. If there's something here I'm not seeing, I'd appreciate your perspective. I'll tell you what I know. I do really appreciate this. It makes a lot of sense in the Phoenix Wright world for the prosecution and the defense to be at odds with each other. And in the real world, that's also kind of the case. We have to make the... Though I guess it is kind of a breach of... It is a conflict of interest for the two parties to, like, so directly work with each other. They really should just be going through, like, a central system that arbitrates what the information that's gathered and then disperses it. There's a lot of collusion that can happen whenever you just have the two people in charge of trials talking privately with each other about information. But, like, narratively, it is nice to see these two sides, like, have dropped the animosity, and we can trust that they are trying to be, like, good guys along with us, with the understanding, of course, that you can't have a rightful trial without both sides going at each other with as much intent to win as possible. So it's a cool dynamic that is in this, and I think no other visual novel that centers the criminal justice system. Let's talk with Arya Steelwind so I can stop rambling. Can you tell me more about what happened? This morning, a factory worker named Justin Way was... I can't. Justin Way. This morning, a factory worker named Justin Way was walking on the catwalk above us. When he put his weight on the guardrail, it broke apart. He unfortunately fell straight into a vat of corrosive chemicals. It wasn't exactly a peaceful way to go. One witness, Masarika Tudor, saw this happen and reported what she saw immediately. The workers quickly followed safety protocol and poured a concoction into the vat to neutralize its corrosive properties. But it was far too late. By the time they pulled him out, the only thing left of Justin's body was his bones and one of his personal effects. I have the autopsy report if you'd like to take a closer look. Autopsy report: died of dissolution at 10:02 a.m. after falling into a vat of molten etherite. Only his bones and some personal effects could be recovered. Scaled Lord. If the chemicals were strong enough to dissolve his body, how did this personal effect survive? We are not sure. The item was a well-crafted ring, so it's possible it was made of a material resistant to dissolution. Justin's ring. Justin was wearing this ring at the time of death. It somehow wasn't dissolved by the molten etherite in the vat. The Workers' Union has previously reported the damaged guard railing to the refinery owner. We're charging Stefanik Drakeogen with criminal negligence for failing to repair it in a timely manner. But Mosarika said that she saw a spell push Justin into the vat. That's what she's told law enforcement too, but the evidence doesn't support that. There was no trace of magic anywhere near the guardrail, save for the magical chemicals in the vat. We didn't find any traces of evocation magic to suggest an explosive spell pushed him, and there weren't any traces of transmutation magic to suggest that anyone weakened the guardrail. It was possible Rika wasn't too much shocked to remember what happened accurately, but it was still strange. I would need to talk to her again to get a more detailed description of what she saw this morning. What do you know about the Drakeogen Trading Company? I know that I've had to listen to the Duke of Commerce incessantly complain about them. I'm guessing he doesn't get along with them. Stefanik Drakeogen's trading company is supposedly posing a threat to his holdings. Lloyd also doesn't seem to approve of how he's been handling the workers' unions. I'm sure he'd take issue with the simple fact that he allows them to exist. It appears so. We've also received a lot of reports of rising tensions between Mr. Drakeogen and the unions. Apparently, many unknown dissidents have joined them as a way to indirectly fight back against the aristocracy. Okay. This refinery's union head, Noah Morrison, has denied this, but the reports tell a more honest story. Wait, Mr. Morrison is the leader of the workers' union? Union tensions. There's been a supposed tension between the Workers' Union in Oranax and Stefanik Drakegen. The union head of the refinery workforce is Noah Morrison, the harbor master of Oranox Harbor, and a close family friend. Do you two know each other? Something like that. Mr. Morrison was the harbor master of the Oranax Harbor when I used to live here. He was a kind and generous man who used to watch me while my mother was working. I felt uneasy about talking to him after all these years, but I needed to warn him if he was getting himself involved with dissidents. Although, it had been more than 10 years since I'd last seen him. He could very well be one of them. Do you know where Drakegen is? I'd like to talk to him about this directly. The old-timer's being questioned by the Kingsguard. They're asking him about the robbery that occurred before the accident. I'm sure he'll be back later today. Wait, the refinery was also robbed this morning? Ah, so what we heard this morning was probably not all nightmare. There was probably a little info, a little extra something mixed in there. You mentioned you were here investigating another matter. Did something else happen here this morning? Over the last few months, there have been a string of suspicious robberies within Oranax. They're a criminal who calls themselves the Mist-Weaving Phantom. That style of naming sounded oddly familiar. The city is a hub of global trade, and several ships belonging to the trading companies have been robbed. These thefts were expertly executed, no one witnessed them, and they left no evidence behind. The few times when the Phantom did trigger an alarm, it was as if they disappeared into thin air. I guess this Phantom lives up to their name. What's more alarming is that an extremely dangerous shipment was stolen from an Imperial ship this morning. Or did they steal? I'm sorry, but that is a matter of national security. I've already told you more than I should. It's not relevant to the case, so just leave that matter to my father and me. The Kingsguard have completely blockaded the city to keep anyone from getting away. Phantom Beast? Wait a second! Huh? Huh? Yu-Gi-Oh? Again? So that's why they were blockading the city. The Mist-Weaving Phantom. There's a thief who calls themselves the Mist-Weaving Phantom. They've been expertly robbing several merchant ships that were resting at Oranox Harbor. No one ever spots them, and they never leave any evidence behind, hence the name. Stolen shipment. A thief known as the Mist-Weaving Phantom stole a dangerous shipment from an Imperial ship the morning of Justin's death. The Kingsguard have set up a blockade and prevented anyone from traveling in and out of Oranax. They seem to be making note of everyone in the city. Wait, did you just say that your father is here? Why is Lucio Steelwind here? What is he planning? Tyrion, you have every right to be concerned, but it's out of our hands. As I told you, the stolen shipment is a threat to national security. My father has taken it upon himself to search for it personally. No. I needed to calm down. Lucio Steelwind may have been a bloodthirsty monster in the countryside, but Oranax was a central trading hub in Wyverngard. If he started a bloodbath here, it could very well cause the kingdom's economy to grind to a halt. Even he wasn't insane enough to do something like that. Place your bets. Is that a magical nuke that was stolen? Folks, do we have the codes? The answer is no. Your average D&D table wouldn't be able to unlock a simple cipher, let alone open up the nuclear codes. I think we're actually safe. I'm sure we don't have to worry about Dr. Genocide. Ignore the Imperial Boomerang. Like, that's what I mean! That's what I mean! The guy who's clearly out there for blood can be trusted with our national security! My father has the best mages in the kingdom searching for it. It's clear, however, that someone is using powerful abjuration magic to mask its location. We'll just have to wait for this phantom to be apprehended. Either way, it seems like I'd learned everything I could for now. It was time to move somewhere else. Alright. Oh, wait, uh-oh. Okay, there we go, we got it. Okay, this was not just a typo, it is dark. Let's go talk to our friend. Ah, Lord of the Radiant Flame, you've returned! Did you get a chance to talk to Mr. Drakegen? I just missed him, apparently. I did talk to the prosecutor, though. You mean Lady Steelwind? She's not that bad once you get to know her. Anyways, I learned a bit more about what happened, but I think your testimony doesn't really fit with the reports. Can you tell me more about what you saw? Okay, I'll do whatever I can to help. I love her hat. Her hat is so good. Little tarot card with the moon and the star. That's not a tarot card, but it is a little stylized card. I need to know what the little polymerization in her hair is. Is it just like a gobbledygook knickknack? Is that just what it is? I'm here for it. Have you ever heard of Alessandro No Cagliostro, the French conman who tricked the royalty? In Dies Irae, he's the terminal of the god who made the world, who's also a twink. Oh, well, thank goodness. I always suspected God was a twink. I'm sorry I had to drag you into this. I didn't know who else to turn to. Don't worry about it. You saved me more times than I can count. What? When did I save you? Did you forget? It's how we met. What happened? I was always getting harassed by some of the older kids by the harbor. One day, they tried to steal the allowance my mother gave me. You stepped in and stopped them. Ah, I remember those cretins now. They had no choice but to flee from the weight of my majesty. She basically knew how to scream in the most alarming way. It sounded like something between a rabid fox and a screeching baby. Yes, my battle cry alone was enough to end battles before they started. I drew the attention of law enforcement. They thought a monster had broken into the city. I think that's when I became your apprentice. We'd always go on adventures together through the city. Yes, and look how much you've grown. I'm glad I put you on the path to greatness. I really miss those days. Me too. After all this is over, let's go on another adventure. You should come with us, Celeste. Yeah, I'm always up for adventure. Looks like a gem. God, it's such a good-looking gem. All right, let's get to work here. You said that you saw someone cast a spell that pushed Justin into the vats. Can you tell me exactly what you saw? I need every detail you can remember. It was kind of hard to see. I was on the ground level and he was on the catwalk. I think I saw him yelling at someone from up there. That's when I saw a flash of light. There was a short burst of magical energy that ripped the guardrail apart. Justin happened to be standing right next to the top of a nearby vat. He fell right into it. I told one of the workers what I saw, but they went to try and pull him out. But I guess it was too late. Those chemicals must have been really toxic. They weren't just toxic. They were strong enough to completely melt down his body. There's actually something else. I saw Justin drop something from his hands before he fell into that vat. After they pulled him out, I tried looking for it and cast Detect Magic. That's when I found this on the ground below the walkway, and you didn't turn it in? That's fine. We've kind of hand-waved all of this with the fact that the arcane runestones can record things. A leather strap. I looked at the strap more closely. It had a buckle on it, but nothing to connect it with. The numerals VI were engraved on it. It was really confused as to what the purpose of this was. I saw a blue glow when I looked at it. It was cyan? That's the color of conjuration traces. Justin was holding this leather strap before he fell into the vat of magical chemicals. It had VI engraved at the end of it. It's covered in traces of conjuration magic. Folks, look. I know I didn't say anything when it happened, because I didn't want to believe it. And I still hope that this doesn't come to pass. Especially because I didn't actually see any of the episodes for it, so I couldn't really make a decisive reference to it. But if we get Rick and Morty'd in this, if we get fake vat of acided, I'm gonna shit myself. I don't do that. No. Why? No. Not the fake out melting. Not the fake skeleton. I tried to give it to the investigators, but they didn't think it was important. Okay, so she was doing her due diligence. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry I didn't trust in your investigative rigor, Miss Tudor. I guess that made sense. They were considering this an accident, not a murder. Don't shit yourself, Nova. Shit someone else. I'll put my poop in someone else's colon, thank you very much. I'll just teleport it in like they do in Star Trek. Why were you at the refinery anyway? You don't work there, do you? I was delivering Justin's breakfast. He always skips it. It really annoys me, so I started bringing some of my pastries over every morning. What? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So important that you ate it multiple times yesterday. I have a high metabolism, okay? Anyways, isn't it kind of dangerous to let a civilian walk around a factory like that? Dahlia Inkheart, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. I hope you enjoy your stay as we delve into the world of Wyverngard and its many legal crossroads. Thank you for stopping by. Anyways, isn't it kind of dangerous to let a civilian walk around a factory like that? Huh. I am no ordinary civilian. No one there would dare to bar my visit to the refinery. Which means that you don't usually visit the refinery. Yeah, I usually just meet Justin in the freight area. But he didn't show up that day, so I got worried and went looking around. The people who worked there recognized me and let me in. That's when I saw him fall into the vat. I have a low metabolism and a lower appetite. I eat multiple breakfasts because I have trouble getting enough calories in me. The counterbalancing caloric intake. Okay, we've been streaming for about an hour right now. Is that right? Yeah, about an hour. So I think ad rolls are back in. And this is about the time that we need to feed the cats. So I am going to do a little ad break here. Oh, no, not before I... Not sure if you're heard, but I'm actually demonic rebranding. Oh, no, I totally missed that, Dahlia. Thank you for letting me know. Debut date not announced yet, but I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it, too. You let me know. I want to be there for it. Folks, Dahlia is the one who made the badges for the channel that we have now, and Cat Time. Cat Time, look at Moby. Look at Moby. Look at them! Look how cute Moby is! Good night, C. Thank you so much for subscribing for 38 months! 38 months! That's 3 years plus a little... Night, thank you for being a constant factor of the channel. You're too kind. Thank you so much. Hey, we're back, folks. Cats are fed. They're very happy. I've got a new tea to go along with my big bag of garlic parmesan pretzels. And now I can eat them a little more consciously, knowing that you're not watching me gnash this baked bread beneath my chompers. Crunchy. And with a satisfying drink to go with it. No way. Yum, yum, yum. Alright, what's up next? Did you recognize the spell Justin was hit with? I am a mage, but I've never seen a spell like that before. No return of flesh to perform, but then you guys will watch me shove food in my mouth. No one wants to see that. It happened instantly, and it didn't look like an explosion or anything. It kind of looked more like an expanding prism. A prism? Does that match with any spells that you're familiar with? I specialize in transmutation spells, but any of the spells I know that could create a cube wouldn't expand instantly like that. The problem is that the Inquisition didn't find any traces of magic on the walkway. It couldn't have been an evocation spell or a transmutation spell. Okay. I think we found another glitch with the game here. We'll have to check our logs later. Okay, there we go. Masarika's testimony. Masarika Tudor was delivering Justin's breakfast to him, but she couldn't find him in the freight area. She went looking for him and spotted him on the catwalk within the refinery. She saw Justin getting blasted with some sort of spell that took the shape of an expanding prism. This spell destroyed the guardrail of the catwalk and pushed Justin into the vat. Expand cube. Increase surface area. I actually wanted to ask you about that. Why would an explosive evocation spell leave traces of magic? Magical traces are only left on the objects they're targeting. Something like a fireball spell isn't technically targeting anything. That's correct, but every evocation spell produces some kind of residue. In the case of Fireball, its magical traces will be left on whatever it had burned or melted. If someone used an evocation spell powerful enough to rip the guardrail apart, they would have found traces of evocation there. Wow, I never knew how technical these things were. We're lucky they are. Otherwise, I'd have a lot less evidence to work with. If what you're saying is true, was I wrong about what I saw? I wouldn't say that. I've been doing this long enough to know that there's always an explanation for oddities like this. If what Rika saw was accurate, what kind of spell was Justin hit with? It was strong enough to rip the guardrail apart, but it didn't leave any traces. Either way, I learned everything I could from her. It was time to move somewhere else. Okay. Oranax Harbor, we have to go talk to the dockmaster. I return, ready to enjoy 2 wieners and D's nuts inside me. Folks, I'm always here for the stick and 2 berries, and other foodstuffs less easy to make innuendos out of. Yeah, fair enough. It had been a long time since I'd been to the Oranax Harbor, but the ocean breeze and the smell of seawater were unmistakable. The city was clearly changed. The city had clearly changed a lot over the years, but at least one thing had stayed the same. I remembered when I'd sit by the docks, bored out of my mind, while my mother read people's fortunes on the boardwalk. I hated it. I never had anything to do or anyone to play with. I would give anything to get those days back. Are you okay? Yeah, we should get going. Are you sure? We can stay here a bit longer if you want. It sounded tempting, but I knew it wouldn't be long before I started remembering everything else that had happened. Sometimes it's good to take a rest, and Celeste, I'm fine. The tone of my voice turned a lot sharper than I'd meant for it to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I've heard from Rika, but I still can't believe it. It really is you, isn't it? Mr. Morrison? Noah Morrison. Occupation Harbor Master. The Harbor Master of Oranax. He was friends with my mother before she was killed. He would always watch over me whenever my mother was busy with her job as a merchant. He taught me how to fish. It's good to see you, boy. Look how much you've grown. Hi. I drew in a sharp breath. The guilt over how I'd left the city was clawing at me. I'm sorry I never kept in touch. I'm just glad that you're safe. Some of the lads were sure you died in the woods. Color us surprised when we saw you in the newspaper taking on some noble in the countryside. Actually, since I have you here, I'm investigating the death of Justin Way. Oh, you heard about that. It's a terrible thing that happened to him. Can I ask you some questions about the Dracogen Trading Company? Of course! I'm glad to see you're doing okay, Mr. Morrison. Things have really turned around since you left here. It's a little difficult to take in sometimes. So much has changed. I know it's a little tough to trust sometimes, but change can be good. It's all really new, but I feel like the city's in good hands. That's good to hear. You're okay, aren't you? Things weren't exactly, He was really trying to choose his words carefully. I didn't die in the woods. I was actually raised by a tree. I place on Avalon now. Get out of my town, you link-summoning bastard. If I wanted to summon plants from the extra deck, I'd have tuners, damn it! I'm okay. Apparently everyone's seen as much in the papers lately. Right. I guess you're a defense attorney who saves mages. Is he doing this because of what happened to his mom? What? I know all that happened a long time ago, but it's okay if you're still not okay. Okay? It sounded like he was clumsily stumbling around his words. You're probably all settled down in the capital, but I hear there are some support groups that... I'm okay. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Right, of course. Huh? Cartooner got banned thanks to Cool Tune. I remember back in the day that you could spell and trap lock someone just for planting a seed in the ground. Beforehand, you had to go ask the High Lord and Uniter of the Land, Oda Nobunaga, to do it for you. And now these rapscallions come in here taking our roses, and now you've got Dynasty Warriors all over the place. Do you want Dynasty Warriors? Because this is how you get Dynasty Warriors. I heard they're leading one of the workers' unions in Oranax. No, you heard about that? Oh, sorry, Jade. I just had some delicious pretzels. I didn't trust it at first, but Drakenton's idea really took off. Finally having a say in things has been great for the workers in the city. See, this is what I don't get. There's tension between Draketon and the Union. But the Draketon Trading Company encouraged the unions. So where's that? Where's the connection there? Wait, the workers' unions were Stefanik Draketon's idea? Yeah, I was just as confused as you are. I had no idea what he was trying to do, but I wasn't going to look that gift horse in the mouth. That must be a bittersweet considering how hostile things have gotten between you two. What? I heard about it from the prosecutor. I know about the tensions between the unions and Draketon. This again? The Knight said something like that too. But things had never been better between Stefanik and us. The prosecutor said that they received several reports of hostility between you two. Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it. He seemed sincerely confused. What was going on? Who sent these reports anyway? Surely not any of the union members. I'm not sure, but from what she said, these reports came from numerous sources. The prosecutor's a steel wind, ain't she? Are you sure you can really trust what she says? She's not the type of person who would lie about something like this. If you say so. Were all those reports wrong, or was Mr. Morrison lying? Okay, this is in question. The more I hear about this story, the less it makes sense. I talked to the man who inspected that guardrail. He said that it was only dented. Should have never broken like they keep saying it. So was Rico right then? Did someone break that guardrail apart using magic? But if that were true, why weren't there any magical traces there? I heard there's been a string of robberies happening throughout the city. They said that Draketon's office was hit before the accident at the refinery. Oh, the Phantom even hit the refinery? It's been a real headache, that one. The Inquisition seems to suspect that one of the members of the Union is this mist-weaving Phantom. What? That's a load of bollocks! I love this expression. I love this guy. This guy is my new friend. Spoiler, someone used a screwdriver! Those bastards! How dare they show up with Phillips heads? That's the name of the guy who ended up doing, by the way, Phillips heads. So we can get another pun name going. It made sense when I'd heard about the tensions between Draketon and the unions, but if that's not true, it can't have been someone from the unions. Our offices have been hit the most. Wait, what could a thief possibly steal from a union office? It's the strangest thing. The Phantom broke in, but all they took was some documents. We were wary of the Duke and the other nobles, so we had some advanced security systems installed in each of our offices. But it didn't matter. The thief just slipped right past them. What kind of documents did they take? Things with lists of our members, our budget, and minutes of our meetings with employers in the city. One of the most dangerous things that a company could steal from a union so that they can retaliate. Uh-oh. Wait, that definitely can't be for anything good. But that implies that the Phantom is stealing more than just valuables. What are they trying to accomplish? What was going on? The more I learned about the Mistweaving Phantom, the more their motives became unclear. Mr. Morrison, Steelwind told us that several ships were robbed in port. Do you know which ones?
Give me a second. I've been making some notes on the shipping reports right here.
Shipping report. Items that were robbed are marked as red. From New Astralis to Remus Virgil, 100 kilograms of foreign books. From Etherguard to Von Sanctus Industries, unknown. From Rosacaster to Von Sanctus Industries, 300 tons of arcane constructs. That's a lot. They left the arcane constructs, but took the bronze. From Ixia to Prim Textiles, 5 tons of fine linens and silks. From Ixia to Von Sanctus Industries, 50 kilograms of exotic jewels and 10 tons of barreled wine. So they are stealing exclusively from Von Sanctus. And it looks like they're stealing like raw component material for like metal and jewel working. We don't know what the Etherguard one is, obviously, but they're not taking weapons like the arcane constructs. They would be supremely useful for anyone. And they're not taking like leisure items like barreled wine, which they could resell. So, The Pinkertons stole the Union Registry. It's true, though. They would do that. If anything, it's better not be communism. If anything, it should be more like communism. They should do double communism, actually, to make it for all the communism that was taken away from them. Wow, they even hit Von Sanctus?
It's not on the report, but they even hit my house.
Who is this guy? It's difficult to see what the stolen items have in common. Do you think they chose items to intentionally mislead anyone trying to figure that out? Honestly, that's very likely. Whoever they are, they might be after more than just gold. Why are the items from the Etherguard shipment marked as unknown?
Oh, that. I think the ship was owned by a pretty high-profile noble. They said his name was Astor?
You met him?
Yeah, pretty nice bloke, that one. Nothing like old Lloyd. A lot of his retainers were causing a fuss when they realized that their ship had been robbed. It sounded like something really valuable was stolen from it.
Do you think that's the Imperial ship that Arya mentioned? Maybe. They seem to be really secretive about what was stolen. It also looks like the Duke was supposed to receive whatever was on that ship. He might be able to tell us more about what was stolen. Do you seriously think he'll talk to us? You kind of intentionally set him off the last time you saw him. Ugh, you're right. We might have more luck trying to find this Astor.
He didn't seem to pay any mind to what happened. He even paid me to show him around the town. We were actually at the refinery when the accident happened.
What? Why didn't you start with that, Mr. Mortison?
Oh, you never asked.
Well, did you see the accident?
No, my knee was acting up, so I was taking a sit-down in the yard outside. But I think he saw something. He gave a statement to those knights when they showed up.
Steelwind never mentioned that. Is she hiding another witness from us?
That girl seemed really jumpy around him. You could barely hold a conversation with him.
Oh, wow. I've never seen her like that before. Whoever this Astor was, it sounded like I needed to talk to him. Talk with him. I think I actually learned a lot more than I thought I would. It was time to move somewhere else. Arnox Town Square, maybe? Nope, that's just our compatriot. Back to the Arcane Refinery, maybe? We arrived back at the refinery. The Inquisition was still sweeping factory ground, but Steelwind seemed to have left. As we entered the factory, I spotted a large, unfamiliar figure. And another glitch, because I am clicking buttons, and we are getting nowhere, so you and I are just going to chill out for a second while we espouse the virtues of communism. Okay. It buffered a lot of my input, it looks like. Oh, I like this guy.
He was old in his years, but his build carried the strength of someone who hadn't spent his life sitting idly. I could see a powerful yet steady temperament in his eyes. His posture carried the shrewdness of a clever businessman. The refinery employees who were still present were deferring to him. He must have been the owner of the Dracogen Trading Company. Stefanik Dracogen, age 70, occupation guild master, the merchant owner of the Dracogen Trading Company. He's an investor who has helped many commoners start their business in Oranax. He seems to care deeply about workers' rights and enforces that ideology in his business. As we approached, he quickly noticed us and began waving us over.
Hello there. You must be the famous attorney that Miss Tudor spoke about.
I am. I take it that you're the guild master of the Dracogen Trading Company?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I really appreciate you lending your aid in this matter.
I already told Rika this, but I've never tried a case like this before. I honestly don't know how much help I'll be.
Well, there isn't a single attorney in Oranax that will represent me. So, I'd appreciate having you as my attorney. Especially with the trial in only a few hours.
Jesus Christ, they're moving fast.
Golden Nova, I'm pressing buttons here. You're pressing some buttons? Button pressing time?
The game heard communism and didn't want none of that. The game wants the communism, okay? We're espousing workers' rights, pro-union. We're getting there. It's that damn Windows updates that's messing things up.
What? I thought it was strange too. The Duke must be pulling some strings.
I summon Blackwing, button the presser. With Blackwing button the presser on the board, my emergency controller goes from win to sin. Communism equals failure. Oh man, we are finding ourselves on two separate ideological tracks on this one. Courts usually only rush cases to trial when they involve magic, but there was supposedly no magic involved in what happened. Did the prosecution know something that I didn't? I guess it didn't matter. I would just have to do what I could. Okay, if your trial is coming up, we'll need to move quickly. Can I ask you some questions about what happened, Dracogen? There's clearly something more going on with this case.
Of course.
It's a recurring theme in games that you play. You should be united in friendship and labor redeem. Yeah. The union of the labor force is an expression of togetherness and camaraderie that will fight back the evils of this world, i.e. corrupt businessmen. Rika mentioned that Justin was an employee of yours. Can you tell us more about him? What was he like when he was working here?
Yes, I hired him just a few months ago. It's a shame what happened to him. At such a young age, too.
Was he a good employee?
He was a hard worker, but he was a bit rough around the edges when he first started. He wasn't great at following the rules at first, but he was good with his hands. I wasn't sure what to make of him at first, but Miss Tudor practically begged me to hire him.
That did sound like her. She always had a habit of getting involved in her friend's business.
He was a good man. All he needed was some structure and direction in life. After only a few weeks of working for me, he was following the rules more than anyone else here. Which only makes me more confused as to why he was up there.
Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. No. Button, no. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Earlier you mentioned that Justin wasn't supposed to be on the walkway. But what did you mean by that?
Well, Justin worked in an entirely different department. He was part of a team that managed packaging and freight. He had no business being inside the refinery building, much less on the catwalk.
Was he the type of person to wander around places that he wasn't supposed to?
We had a few issues like that when he started a few months ago. But like I said before, he always followed my rules when he was working today. It all just makes the situation that much more confusing. My contractors assured me that the damage to the guardrail was nothing to worry about.
From what Rika said, someone used a spell to break the guardrail apart. If that's true, I doubt Justin's death was your fault. I heard that the mist-weaving phantom hit the refinery this morning. Which part of the refinery did they break into, and what did they steal? That's the strangest thing. The thief broke into my office and cracked my magically locked safe. The safe contained my business records and several gold coins I keep on hand. They stole the records, but left the gold. Why would they leave it after going to so much trouble to break in? What's the phantom actually after? Your answer is as good as mine. Was the location that Justin fell from close to your office? Yes, my office is positioned there to overlook the refinery. Alrighty. If the robbery occurred close to the time of Justin's death, did he spot the phantom while he was up there? How's your relationship with the local workers' union? I certainly hope they're good. We've had our disagreements, of course, but nothing we couldn't work out through discussion. Working in a refinery isn't without its risks, and people want to be properly compensated for that. I just hope we can put this accident behind us and take more precautions in the future. He seems to genuinely care, but it honestly sounded too good to be true. Merchants tended to be more emotionally guarded. It naturally came with the occupation. I didn't see any thoughts through the eye of Horus. What was he really thinking? I have to ask, why would you propose the formation of the workers' union in the first place? With all due respect, I think someone in your position would have every reason to stop that from happening. I don't blame you for thinking that, and I'm sure many other merchants in this kingdom would agree with you. But that's exactly why I proposed it to Noah. I've seen how this kingdom treats those at the bottom of society. Those without are treated like tools, worked by their employers until they break and need to be replaced. But tell me, Mr. Cuthbert, do you own any appliances made by Von Sanctus Industries? I have a Von Sanctus bread oven. You mean that one that keeps breaking down? That's exactly the point. The Duke's employees are so overworked that they naturally can't do their jobs properly.
It's almost like this game has something to say about the nature of employment and the economy that we live in. Last case it was AI. This case it's corrupt business overreach. I wonder if maybe the story has a little bit leaning to the left a little bit. Interesting. Quality control is non-existent, but it's all about doing the bare minimum required to turn a profit with him. The themes and such. Big old title drop here. Themes and such. I'm not one to brag, but my products have been touted to be far more reliable than Von Sanctus's. It's a simple thing, really. When you keep your employees happy, they perform better, and that pays itself forward. I created the first workers' union with Noah to allow workers to better advocate for themselves. I'm glad to see that it set a precedent for the employees of other companies to do the same. I guess I could see his logic there, and Von Sanctus' products were pretty poorly made, which only made those reports of tensions between them all the more strange. There's something strange going on with this case. Yeah, especially with this mist-weaving phantom. There's that, but there's something else that also stood out to me. What's the truth behind the tensions between Dracogen and the unions? After personally talking to Mr. Morrison and Stephanic Dracogen, one thing is clear.
Maybe.
There are no tensions between Stephanic Dracogen and the unions. They had very little reason to lie to me, and even if they had, their statements wouldn't have matched so closely. But what about those reports Steelwind talked about? They didn't just say things were bad between them, they said they were hostile to each other. I think those reports might actually be related to the Phantom. What? How? What is strange about the Phantom's actions? I don't know for what reason, but the Phantom isn't just looking to steal items of monetary value. The Mistweaving Phantom values documents
What if?
as much as valuables. The serial robber seems to value records and documents, specifically those related to the workers' unions and the Drakegen Trading Company. How is the mist-weaving phantom related to Steelwind's reports? It's not concrete, but if we connect their actions to Steelwind's reports, something becomes suspicious. The valuables stolen by the robbers couldn't be used to file frame Drakegen? The documents stolen by the robber are being used to file false reports. Whoever the Mistweaver Phantom is, the documents they stole are being used to file these false reports. Why would they do that, though? It can't be for anything good. They're not just a common thug looking to make some easy money. They're working towards something. Something that's already affected the political climate of Oranax. This is a new filter. This is different. I could feel my hand clenching into a fist. Whoever was filing these false reports was putting everyone in the city in danger. If this continued, Lucio Steelwind might not leave when they find the shipment. He'd continue his bloodthirsty crusade here. I'm going to find them. And when I do, I'm going to wring the truth out of them. What? There's only one person who can tell us more about what's happening in Oranax. Lloyd von Sanctus himself. Okay, but do you really think he's going to help you, though? We don't have a choice. We'll just have to see what we can get out of him. And if that didn't work, I just grabbed the information I needed out from his mind. Ooh, we're going to abuse our powers. Let's go. Abuse of our magical energy. The Duke's manor is in the upper district west of here. But I'd be careful if I were you. The Duke of a Pillar family is not someone to be trifled with. It's never stopped me before. Clearly. Either way, it seems like I'd learned everything I could for now. It was time to move somewhere else. Let's go up to the Von Sanctus Manor. Ooh. My apologies, but Lord Von Sanctus isn't accepting any visitors. This isn't a visit. I need to talk to him right now. The nobleman gestured towards a guard who was standing at the door. Celeste, get them out of the way. What? We are going to see Von Sanctus. Either step aside or we're going to go through you. Wait, Tyrion, that does not sound legal. Let him in. What? Oh. I'm not sure Mr. Cuthbert. I'm sure Mr. Cuthbert had no untoward intentions. I think it would be in everyone's best interests for him to speak with Lloyd. Sir, you can't be serious. Is there a problem? That's a very Celeste pose. We've seen her do that. No, of course not. Please come in, Mr. Cuthbert. Thank you. Of course. I'm just happy to help. Know that I'm wishing you luck in the upcoming trial, Mr. Cuthbert. Right. Without another word, the mysterious man started to walk away from the manor. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch your name. You can call me Aster. Oh. But wasn't Aster the high-profile noble that Mr. Morrison mentioned? He also owned the ship from which that threat to national security had been stolen. I looked at the nobleman, then at Aster, who had walked farther and farther away. I really needed to know what he saw, but I knew they'd never let me into the manor a second time. The trial was coming up, and I needed to make a choice. Do I talk to Aster or Von Sanctus? We already had Rika's testimony. Even if it contradicted the lack of magical traces, the more important aspect of the case was the mist-weaving phantom. I would just have to focus on Von Sanctus for now. Aster Phoenix, maybe? This man 100,000,000% has an evil sprite who opens his eyes. Oh no, not that. The hero of destiny. Hey, Bree, how's it going? It's Aster. I hardly know her. Wobbler, I am pulling you off the stage with a comically large cane.
starved. Have more pretzels. Yum, 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 pretzels. Folks, if you haven't had Dot's pretzels, I must encourage you to invest in a bag of Dot's pretzels. So good. The Duke's attendant led us into the manor before stopping at a closed door. I could hear voices coming from inside. One of the voices was distinctly Lloyd's. I'd recognize that nasally, high-pitched whine anywhere. Oh, how did we know? How did we know? Wait here. I need to inform the Duke of your arrival. He entered the room while we waited outside. So do you want to tell me what that was about? What? You were trying to sick me on those two like some kind of dog. I'm not some goon you can use to threaten people like that. I'm sorry. I was just... You're usually way more level-headed than that. You've been acting differently since we got here. Tyrion, did something happen here? I'm sorry for barking orders at you like that. I grew up here, and I really don't like what's happening. Things are so much better now, and I don't want whatever's happening to ruin that for everyone. Okay, I get it. Just don't do that again, okay? And if you ever need to talk to someone, let's just focus on the investigation for now. Okay. Astra means star, by the way. Cool. Oh, 2 Pillar family people are here. Great. I'm sure there's some fanfic out there that says she is, in fact, a gooner. Wouldn't be surprised. As we entered the nearby room, we came upon Lloyd Von Sanctus speaking with another unfamiliar individual. I just knew you meeting the Crown Prince was a disaster waiting to happen. What? I heard about what happened. Crown Prince Astor let you in, didn't he? That man was the Crown Prince? I knew I'd recognize that name somewhere. This is what I got for not reading the paper more regularly. Okay, one thing at a time. Since I have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about Ornax? Absolutely not. Get out of my house! Why not indulge him, Lloyd? He seems harmless. Coraline. Anyway, you're waiting for Violetta to return, aren't you? Uh-oh. Violetta was one of the people in that flash sideways about the robbery. He stayed silent for a while before he let out a heavy sigh. Very well. I'll answer your questions, if only to show you how little of a case you have. Maybe you can convince your client to accept the futility of his situation. Thank you, Miss, I am Coraline Sybil, head of House Sybil and Wyverngard, the Duchess of Law. Coraline Sybil, the head of the House of Sybil and the Minister of Justice. Her noble house is one of the 4 Pillar families and is the most powerful of them. Her family has managed the judicial and legislative branches of Wyverngard's government for generations. I feel like we've already done this, and that happened during the cutaway to the nobles. Are there 2 people making profiles? Putting that question in the pins for later. Oh boy. I don't suppose you'd be willing to drop the charges you've laid against Dracogen? I thought you were smarter than that. It was worth a shot, but it's obvious you're not one for competition. Why else would you be trying so hard to squash a small company? Oh, is that what you think? How simple-minded of you. Am I wrong? Von Sanctus Industries is massive and has operations throughout Wyverngard. He's just one merchant in one city. That one merchant is spreading insidious ideas like it's the plague. So, encouraging workers to unionize and protect themselves is insidious? Oh, yes. It sounds very flowery and marvelous when he says it, but have you ever stopped to think about what he's doing? He's encouraging those at the bottom to stand together and take power away from those above them. What's the difference between that and insurrection? They're advocating for their basic human rights. And do you want to know something?
That's not entirely unreasonable. I'll admit that I'm actually pleased that fewer employees are getting hurt in this city. Oh, really? You may think I'm heartless, but I'm not a monster. If these unions simply kept people safe, I would take no issue with it. But it's never going to stop there. You give these people power, and they'll just become hungry for more. Which is something that you would never see from the nobility. That's a completely unique thing to commoners. They'll take and take and take until there's nothing left for the rest of us. So they'll do what you do. The difference is that they won't care when our society devolves into anarchy. You've been awfully quiet. I didn't want to interrupt. Yet you're just as responsible for the commoner suffering as he is. Tell me, Mr. Cuthbert, do you think artificery plays a vital role in our society? Of course I do. It's the only way for us commoners to use arcane magic. Correct. The existence of the arcane refineries is essential for our society to function. So, Mr. Cuthbert, would you ever work in one? No, but you wouldn't because you were afforded privilege that many others do not have. No one wants to do that sort of work, but someone has to for society to function. Everyone has their role in Wyverngard, and more often than not, people don't receive a role they want. No one decides what kind of circumstances they are born into. Only the cosmic balance decides that. Cosmic balance? Please don't get her started on that. The cosmic balance is the chaos of the universe, the law of averages made manifest. No one can control the outside forces that determine their lives. Some are born into the aristocracy, and some are born into poverty. That's awfully easy to accept when you were born in the former. The world is not fair. It has never been fair. So we build systems to keep it from crumbling under its own cruelty. Systems that benefit you. Systems that protect the aristocracy and grind everyone else down until they've outlived their usefulness. There must be stability, even if it causes discomfort. The chaos of the universe may seem cruel, but it's fair. Okay, so I needed to take a moment to really analyze what's going on here, because this is what we're seeing here are very common arguments that are made by people in power and who have authority to advocate for the systems that they've surrounded themselves in. If we weren't here, the world would devolve into chaos. Their life is unfair, and so this is the lesser of two evils. They set it up like that because they want you to think that there are only two alternatives. The kind of bad world that they run, or the absolute apocalypse that would exist without their rule. They need to make themselves sound like a necessary piece for a society, which of course is untrue. When she says things like some are born peasants and some are born aristocrats and that's just the way of the world, that's literally not the way of the world. There are no commoners in nature. There are no aristocrats in nature. That is a system that was artificially made by humans, and as such is not something that is just a part of the natural cycle. Be sure to keep this in mind whenever you run into situations like this in the real world, because it might help you identify when people are trying to bullshit you. The system wouldn't be this way if it didn't work. Like, there we go. The appeal to history. Why does she have an orb? Oh, because it's like a mystic thing. It's a signifier. I don't know if we can question the orb. I think we should just be thankful that she has the orb. It's her only redeeming quality as a parasite on society. Notably, it's important to say that if the system worked so well and it was such a necessary part of the world that we live in, why do they have to spend so much effort trying to keep it in place? Seems like a lot of people think that there's an alternative, and it takes a lot more work to impose a system that's not working than one that does. She does divination or some shit, I think. That's gotta be what it is. Since you two care about the system so much, you should know that someone's abusing it. Is that so? I'm sure you've heard about the Mist-Weaving Phantom. I believe they've been stealing official records from the unions and the Dracogen Trading Company. They've been using those records to craft false reports about hostile tensions between them. That's... He paused for a moment. Is something wrong? I think what he's saying is actually quite plausible. Wait, really? There has been something peculiar about the recent string of robberies. Namely, who they've been targeting. Are you talking about how they hit the union offices? No, they're talking about how they keep hitting Von Sanctus's shit. I'm sure I'll regret telling you this, but there's something about his targets that hasn't been released to the public. Many of the individuals who were robbed were secretly plotting treason against the kingdom. Are you only saying this because they were members of the unions? I'm saying that because law enforcement found hidden illegal communications, weapons, and explosives at the sites of most of the robberies. Oh. It was strange. There were many times when the victims returned home to find their houses ransacked. When the City Watch arrived to investigate the crime, they noticed one peculiarity. The victims never called the City Watch to report the crime. Someone else did. Despite the clear fact that a crime had occurred, some of the victims resisted attempts to search their home. The Knights found that quite suspect and found that as probable cause. They found evidence of treason when they searched the victims' homes. Which, of course, wasn't planted. It wasn't set there, of course. That would be silly. Why would cops plant evidence? That's so silly! It was as if the Phantom were intentionally targeting those who were plotting against the crown. What reason could the thief possibly have to do that? It's clear the thief wants the crown to be aware that insurrection is brewing within Oranax. And with those false reports, a far more dire situation is being painted. Who do you think would benefit the most from something like that? One prolific noble came to mind. Grand General Steelwind is involved in this somehow. I'm sure of it. Coraline, I understand you've always cared for him. However, even you must admit it's never been the same since that tragedy with Ophelia. Even so, it's not my place to decide that. It will be up to the House of Lords. Really? Even now? You have no evidence. The House wouldn't condemn Lucio based on hearsay. Until then, the Grand General will fulfill his role in our kingdom. Even while countless innocent lives have been lost under his watch. Pah! Soon the Grand General will be obsolete. I'll have like 1 billion mechs on my side, and they'll go pew, 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 and then they'll carry me around on their shoulders, and I'll direct them like a mech pilot. Steelwind really wants that Imperial boomerang. Nova, the girl with the orb, is cute, so she's innocent. Yep, that's how I've interpreted how this stuff goes in games. You know how I posted the announcement for this and said that all of you folded to cute girls? Well, you've fallen for the Sybil attack. Could the Mistweaving Phantom really be an agent of Lucio Steelwind? But if their intention was to reveal insurrectionists, why would they have bothered robbing the merchant shipments? Was it just to create a cover to hide their true intentions? Either way, if the Phantom was at the refinery that morning, it's possible Justin spotted them. They've remained unseen throughout their string of robberies. Did the Phantom attack Justin to keep their identity hidden? The trial was coming up soon, and I still didn't have any definitive evidence to prove that Justin was even attacked. But it couldn't be helped. I'd run out of time. I would just need to work with what I had. Alright. We're going to the case. And I think because we are at hour 2, that is where we're going to leave it. I don't want to cut it off in the middle of the trial. We're all going to have fun with that next week. So, folks, ruminate right now. Do we know who the killer is? Do we have the information necessary to deduce whomst has caused such a foul act, or if this was actually an accident to begin with? Feel free to stew on that for the next week. And before we head out, let's go ahead and drop those socials. Folks, if you want to keep up with more Golden Nova, you can do so at our Discord, where we hang out and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Related stuff and not Yu-Gi-Oh! Related stuff. My YouTube channel, where I post my stuff when I post. My Blue Sky, where I do my more off-the-cuff thoughts. I just posted a lot of artwork that I'd commissioned over the years as part of my Yu-Gi tubing journey. And I would love for all of you to see them, because there have been some fantastic artists that have contributed some outrageous pieces. And lastly is my Patreon. A strong Patreon helps this channel go independent. If you like what I do here and want to support me directly, it would mean the world to me if you would go to the page and consider donating. Even something as little as $1 could change my entire channel, because if a large enough amount of people donate a single $1 every month, then that would be crazy. If like 2,000 people did $1, and 2,000 is like what, a 2%? That's like that's a little more than 1%. That's like 3% of my total subscribership on YouTube. If they did that, I would be clear to just do this by itself, streaming, making videos, all that good stuff. Of course, if you're not able to, please don't feel like I do not appreciate you, because even just being here, watching these streams with me is an awesome form of support, because if you're not here to watch me, then I don't get to do any of this. I think that was a fairly effective shill. I liked that one. That was pretty succinct and to the point. The rating. Let's go ahead and I don't know. We'll raid MBT. MBT's doing Isaac right now. We'll play some of that. You can go watch that, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to follow if you haven't already, because we'll be trying to play another round of Tyrion Cuthbert next week. But until the stars align and we're able to meet again, I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.